Now, Urban 20. Now, Urban 20 is one of the engagement groups of G20. It provides a platform from G20 countries to facilitate discussions on various important issues of urban development, including climate change, social inclusion, sustainable mobility, affordable housing, financing of urban infrastructure, and propose collective solutions. Now, Ahmedabad will be the chair city for Urban 2023 under India's G20 presidency. Events under U20 will be coordinated by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, INS Arnala. Now, Indian Navy ship Arnala has been launched at Kattupalli shipyard near Chennai. It is first of the 8 indigenously built anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft. It has been built by Garden Reach shipbuilders and engineers. It has been named Arnala to signify the strategic maritime importance accorded to the island of Arnata, located about 30 kilometers north of Vasai, Maharashtra by Maratha warrior king Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. It has over 80% indigenous content. Now moving on to INS Vagir. It is a Scorpion class conventional submarine. It has been delivered to the Navy by Mazgaon Dock Shipyard Builders Limited. It is the fifth submarine under Project 75 for Indian Navy. Project 75 includes construction of 6 submarines. The submarines INS Kalvari, INS Kanderi, INS Karnach, INS Vela have already been commissioned. Now the sixth Scorpion class submarine Bakshi was launched in April 2022 and is expected to be delivered by the end of 2023. This class of submarine have diesel engine transmission system, diesel electric, so they are diesel electric transmission system and are attack submarines. The Navy currently has 15 conventional and 1 nuclear submarine in service. Moving on to INS Murmagaon. Now, INS Murmagaon is second ship of Vishakhapatnam class destroyers, also classed as Project 15B stealth guided missile destroyers. It is built by the MDSL, same as this one. The ship has been named Murmagaon after the historic port city of Goa on India's west coast. The ship is propelled by gas turbines. It is equipped with surface-to-surface and surface-to-air missiles. It is also fitted with a modern surveillance radar. Moving on to first woman army officer at Siachen, Captain Shiva Chauhan has become first woman army officer to get operationally deployed on Siachen Glacier, the world's highest battlefield. Now, 244 women officers from combat support arms in the army will be considered for the rank of colonel for the first time. The first time women joined the Indian Armed Forces was in 1888 when Indian Military Nursing Service was created. Now, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's Azad Hind Fauj had an exclusive women's combat regiment named Rani of Jhansi Regiment. The regiment fought on battlefront against the Imperial Japanese Army in the erstwhile Burma. Now, moving on to tidal disruption event. A tidal force is the force experienced by a body due to difference in strength of gravitational force at different points exerted on it by another body. Example, Earth experiences tidal forces from Sun because of gravitational field on the side of Earth facing Sun is greater than the side away from the Sun. If tidal forces exerted on a body is greater than the intermolecular force that keeps it together, the body will get disrupted. Now, a tidal disruption event occurs when a star approaches sufficiently close to a supermassive black hole to be pulled apart by the black hole's tidal force. Now, during such an event, the tidal force of a black hole disrupts the star in vicinity, while about half of the star's debris continues on to its original path. The other half is attracted by the black hole's gravitational pull. The gradual growth of this material bound to the black hole produces a short-lived flare of emission known as tidal disruption event. Now, tidal disruption events are important to learn how black holes influence their environment. Moving on to surface water and ocean topography satellite, that is SWOT satellite. Now, NASA has launched the surface water and ocean topography satellite. SWOT is an advanced radar satellite jointly developed by NASA, CNES, that is French Space Agency, in partnership with Canadian Space Agency and the UK Space Agency. Its objective is to make first global survey of the Earth's surface water, observe the details of ocean surface topography, and to measure how terrestrial surface water bodies change over time. It is based on the use of advanced microwave radar technology to collect high-definition measurements of ocean, lakes, reservoirs, and rivers of over 90% of the globe. It will provide data on more than 95% of the world's lake. It will also be able to improve the accuracy of flood forecast and provide scientists with more precise monitoring of impending droughts, rising sea level, and life on Earth. It will help explore how oceans absorb atmospheric heat and carbon dioxide, thus regulate global temperatures. Oceans are estimated to absorb more than 90% of the excess heat trapped in Earth's atmosphere by human-caused greenhouse gas emissions. Now, moving on to Shukrayaan-1. It is proposed mission of ISRO to Venus. Its aim is to study Venus's geology and volcanic activity, emissions on the ground, wind speeds, cloud cover, and other planetary characteristics from an elliptical orbit. It will be an orbiter mission. It was expected to be launched in December 2024, but it is now postponed. Now, ISRO is yet to receive approval from the Union government. Moving on to GelBots. Now, researchers at Johns Hopkins University have developed a new gelatinous robot, that is GelBot, that crawls powered by temperature change and clever design. Now, GelBots are made out of gelatin. They are created by 3D printing. They are capable of moving without requiring an extra power source because of the way of their shape, dimensions, and patterning of gels are designed. Now, the gels swell or shrink in response to temperature. This can be strategically manipulated to move robots on flat surfaces with undulating wave-like motion. They can be used to create smart structures, moving on surface through the human body to deliver targeted medicine, deploy as marine robots, patrolling and monitoring the ocean surface, trained to crawl in response to variations in human biomarkers and biochemicals. Soft robotics is a branch of robotics where the robots are fashioned out of organic and non-metallic materials. Now, moving on to 3D printed house by Indian Army. The Indian Army has inaugurated its first 3D printed house dwelling unit for soldiers at Ahmedabad Cant. It has been constructed by the Military Engineering Service. The technique utilizes a concrete 3D printer that accepts a computerized three-dimensional design and fabricates a 3D structure in layer-by-layer fashion by extruding a specialized type of concrete specifically designed for the purpose. Now, the Indian Army is already testing 3D printed defense structures in Ladakh. Now, moving on to reactor to convert plastic into sustainable fuels. Researchers from the University of Cambridge, that is UK, have developed a reactor that can transform plastic waste, that is PET, and greenhouse gases into sustainable fuels and other valuable products by using the energy from sun. The reactor absorbs energy from sunlight and uses it to trigger a catalyst that converts the feedstock into useful products like syngas or formulate in addition to glycolic acid. Now moving on to personalized vaccine for skin cancer, Moderna and Merck are developing mRNA vaccine to treat melanoma, a type of skin cancer. It is a personalized cancer vaccine tailor-made for every patient. Researchers took sample of patients' tumor and healthy tissues. They decoded their genetic sequence and isolated mutant proteins associated only with cancer. The information was used to design a tailor-made cancer vaccine. The personalized cancer vaccine works in concert with immunotherapy drug Keytruda to disable a protein called programmed death1, which helps tumors to evade the immune system. The vaccine has shown 44% reduction in the risk of dying for cancer. Now moving on to eye knife to diagnose womb cancer. Scientists at the Imperial College of London have developed a surgical knife-duped eye knife that can smell tumors, effectively detecting womb or endometrial cancer within seconds. Now the womb uterus is where a baby grows during pregnancy. Most womb cancers usually start in the lining of the womb, that is endometrium. Approximately 17,000 new cases of endometrial cancer were recorded in 2020 globally and 26,000 in India. The eye knife uses electric currents on biopsy tissues and then analyzes the vaporized aerosols from the tissue to give real-time information about activity in the tissue. It smells the tissue for cancerous cells. The study showed that it had 89% accuracy. Now moving on to dairy products to combat Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a progressive neurological disorder that causes brain to shrink, that is atrophy, and brain cells to die. It is the most common cause of dementia, a continuous declining in thinking, behavioral, and social skills that affects a person's ability to function independently. When a protein called amyloid builds up in the organ with food intake, the risk factor for Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases increases. Now, researchers at the Central University of Rajasthan have found that the dairy proteins have structural superiority to trap such harmful molecules and destroy them. Hence, intake of dairy proteins can reduce the occurrence of Alzheimer's. Now, moving on to Virovore. A virovore is an organism that obtains energy and nutrients from consumption of viruses. Scientists have found a species of Altria that is a virovore. These are microscopic ciliates that populate fresh water throughout the world. They can eat huge numbers of infectious chloroviruses. Both share an aquatic habitat. Now moving on to IVO-FM. Scientists at the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, Pune, have developed a Vilogen unit grafted organic framework that is IVO-FM to clean polluted waters. Now IVO-FM is a unique molecular sponge-like material to clean polluted waters by soaking up the contaminants in it. It uses ion exchange method to capture pollutants. It has shown 93% removal rate for both organic and inorganic pollutants. Now moving on to cryomesh technology. Corals are facing existential threat due to warming oceans. Scientists working on Australia's Great Barrier Reefs are working on new method to freeze, store, and preserve coral larvae to reintroduce them in waters at a later stage. They have developed a new cryomesh technology that will help them store the larvae at -196 degrees Celsius. This is a cheaper method to cryopreserve corals that is more economical than earlier method. This new method could eventually help rewild reefs threatened by climate change. Moving on to Satyendra Nath Bose, the 129th birth anniversary of Satyendra Nath Bose was celebrated on January 1st, 2023. He was a mathematician and physicist specializing in theoretical physics. He had played a pioneering role in Bose-Einstein statistics. During his lifetime, he acted as the head of many scientific institutions like the Indian Physical Society, the National Institute of Science, the Indian Science Congress, and the Indian Statistic Institute, and advisor to Council of Scientific and Indian Industrial Research. He was awarded Padma Vibhushan in 1954. Moving on to glacial melting. According to a study, global glacier change in 21st century, half of Earth's glaciers are destined to vanish by 2100, even if goal of Paris Climate Agreement to limit global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels is achieved. Now, glaciers hold 70% of the Earth's fresh water, currently encompasses around 10% of the planet's land area. Now, glaciers are receding due to climate change and rising temperature. The glaciers in Alps, Iceland, Alaska are melting at the quickest rate. 68% of the glaciers will vanish if global warming continues at the current rate of 2.7 degrees Celsius. Glaciers melting will significantly contribute to sea level rise, threaten the supply of water of up to 2 billion people, and increase the rise of natural hazards such as flooding. Moving on to loss of wetlands in India. According to estimates by Wetland International, nearly 2 of every 5 wetlands, that is 40% in India, have lost their natural existence in the last 30 years. At present, India has around 2.5 lakh big wetlands and 5.5 lakh small wetlands. Now, 60,000 big wetlands are inside protected forest areas. 40% of the water bodies have lost quality for the survival of aquatic animals. Now, rapid urbanizations, waste disposal, lack of knowledge on waste, wetlands, and ecosystems are the reasons for loss of wetland. Loss of wetlands destroy the ecosystem. Now, loss of wetlands can cause urban floods like in Chennai because they can absorb excess water. Moving on to M-sands. Manufactured sands or M-sands refers to artificial sand manufactured by crushing large hard stones into fine particles. Now, M-sand is a sustainable solution to illegal mining from riverbeds and riverbanks. Certain properties make it better building material than natural sand. Coal India Limited has started a facility in West Bengal to produce manufactured sand. The West Bengal facility, that is Coal India Limited's total M-sand producing capacity, stands at 9.86 lakh cubic meters per year. Moving on to Bullock Heart tree. Bullock Heart tree, that is Annona rectile, is a small deciduous or semi-evergreen tree. It is best known for its fruit, custard apple. It is popularly known as Ramphal. Sitafal also. Bullock Heart trees extracts have traditionally been used to cure conditions including dysentery and pediculosis. Recently, researchers at International Crop Research Institute of the Semi-Arid Tropics have developed a cost-effective bioinsecticide from its leaves. Moving on to ICRISAT, ICRISAT is an international organization that conducts agricultural research for development in Asia and sub-Saharan Africa. It helps farmers by providing improved crop varieties and hybrids and also helps smallholder farmers in the dry lands fight climate change. It was founded in 1972 by a consortium of organizations convened by the Ford and Rockefeller Foundations. Its charter was signed by FAO and UNDP. It is headquartered in Hyderabad, Telangana, with several regional centers in Nigeria, Kenya, Mali, etc. Moving on to Caspian tern. Caspian tern is the largest tern in the world, easily recognized by its brilliant red fish knife of a bill and deep raspy call. It is found almost all over the world. It favors both freshwater and saltwater environments. It feeds mostly on fish. IUCN status is least concern. They were sighted at the Godavari estuary. Now moving on to Nilgiri Thar. Nilgiri Thar is the sole caprine species found in the tropical mountains of southern India. Its IUCN status is endangered. It falls in Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act of India, 1972. It inhabits meadows with steep cliffs at elevations between 300 meters and 2600 meters above sea level. There are 3,000 Nilgiri Thars in the wild. Its spread is limited to few scattered parts in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. It has become locally extinct in around 14% of its traditional Shola forest grassland habitat. There are multiple references to Nilgiri Thar in Tamil Sangam literature. The late Mesolithic, that is 10,000 to 4,000 BC paintings highlight the significance of Thar in folklore, culture, and life. It has been designated as state animal of Tamil Nadu in recognition of its ecological and cultural significance. The Tamil Nadu government has launched Nilgiri Thar Conservation Project. Moving on to the Indian rhino. The Indian rhinoceros is a rhinoceros species native to Indian subcontinent. It has a single black horn. Its IUCN status is vulnerable. It is found only in Brahmaputra Valley, parts of North Bengal, and parts of South Nepal. According to World Wide Fund, there are around 3,700 Indian rhinos in the wild, predominantly in Assam's Kaziranga National Park, along with Orang, Pabitra, and Manas parks. Now, rhinos are poached for their horns. Rhino horn is used in traditional Chinese medicine to cure a range of ailments like cancer and as an aphrodisiac. In 2016, the Assam government constituted a special rhino protection force to keep a check on rhino poaching at Kaziranga National Park. Now, Assam Chief Minister has announced that no Indian rhinoceros were poached in the state in 2022. Moving on to white tufted royal butterfly. It is a rare butterfly species. It is protected under the Schedule 2 of Wildlife Protection Act. The wingspan of the butterfly is approximately 3 to 4 centimeters. The species has been spotted in Agasthyakudam and Shendurni Wildlife Sanctuary. Now it has been spotted in Kannur, Kerala. Moving on to under threat species, according to IUCN Red List, white-cheeked dancing frog, Andaman smooth-hound shark, and yellow Himalayan fritlay are among the 29 new species assessed in India that are under threat. Now, dancing frog has been categorized as endangered. Andaman smooth-hound shark has been categorized as vulnerable. Himalayan fritlay plant has been categorized as vulnerable. Now, dancing frog is found in the western ghats of Karnataka. Andaman smooth-hound shark is currently only found in the Andaman Sea and is endemic to India. Yellow Himalayan fritlay plant is found in Bhutan, China, India, Myanmar, Nepal, and Pakistan. Moving on to glass frog. Glass frog lives in the American tropics. They are nocturnal amphibians that spend their day sleeping upside down on trunculent leaves that match the color of their back. Their translucent skin and muscles allow their bones and organs to be visible. Moving on to transparency as camouflage. Transparency is a common form of camouflage among animals that live in water, but rarely on land. In vertebrates, attaining transparency is difficult because of their circulatory system is full of red blood cells that interact with light. Now, ice fish and larvae eels are able to achieve transparency but not producing hemoglobins and RBC. They do not produce it. Now, glass frog increase transparency 2 to 3 folds by removing nearly 90% of their red blood cells from circulations and packing them within their liver, which contains reflective guanine crystals. Whenever the frog needs to become active again, they bring the red blood cells back into the blood, which gives the frog the ability to move around. Light absorption from the cells breaks transparency. Moving on to GI tags, 9 new items from various states of India, such as Gamosa of Assam, Tandoor red gram of Telangana, Raktse Karo apricot of Ladakh, Alibag white onion of Maharashtra have been given the geographical indication tag. With this, the total number of GI tags in India come to 432. The top 5 states holding maximum number of GIs are Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala. Now moving on to GI tag for Gamosa Assam, it is a white rectangular piece of cloth with primarily red border on 3 sides and a red woven motif on the 4th. Now the most common material for making gamosa is cotton yarn, but on special occasions, they are also made from pat silk. It can be used at home as a towel or in public functions. It is also used to felicitate dignitaries or celebrities. Now, gamosa is also known as Bihuwan, as it is an essential part of Bihu festival of Assam. Moving on to GI tag for Alibag white onion from Maharashtra. Alibag white onion is known for its unique sweet taste, no tear factor, and medicinal properties. Now, the soil of Alibag Taluka has low sulfur content, and its geoclimatic condition makes it unique compared to other white onion producing areas. White onions are excellent source of antioxidants that contain more than 25 different types of flavonoids, which lower the risk of developing chronic diseases such as diabetes, cancer, and heart disease. Now, moving on to GI tag for Raktse Karupu apricot from Ladakh. This is the first ever GI tag from Ladakh. Ladakh is the biggest apricot producer in the country. Ladakh apricot is classified into two broad categories based on kernel taste and stone color. Fruits with bitter and sweet kernels are called khatte and nyarmo respectively. Now, fruits with white and brown seeds are called rakse karpo and rakse nakpo respectively. Now, Ladakh apricot is also being promoted under one district, one product for Kargil. It is rich in vitamins and sorbitol, a natural glucose substitute, and low on calories. Oil from its seeds can relieve backaches and joint pain. Moving on to GI tag for Tandoor Red Gram from Telangana. Now, the Tandoor Red Gram of Telangana has got geographical indication tag. Tandoor Red Gram is local variety of pigeon pea, which is mainly grown in rain-fed tracts of Tandoor and nearby regions of Telangana. Its specific quality traits have been attributed to the fertile deep black soil with huge deposits of achapivite clay mineral, specifically found in Tandoor region, along with huge limestone deposits. Now, it has 22 to 24% protein content. It also has a better taste, cooking quality, and enhanced keeping quality. Now, 63,500 families in Tandoor are involved in the cultivation. Annual production is 4.75 lakh quintals. It has 3 times more protein found in other varieties. Sagol Khaninji. Now, modern polo is said to have originated from Sagol Khangeji. Sagol Khaninji is the name of game of polo played in Manipur. Sagol means pony, and Khang means ball or round object, and Jai is the stick used for hitting. In this game, player ride horses, specifically the Manipur ponies, which are referenced in records dating back to the 14th century. Now, moving on to Manipur pony. The Manipur pony is breed of horse mainly found in the plains of Manipur. It is one of the 5 recognized equine breeds of India and has powerful cultural significance for Manipuri society. In the past, it was used for warfare as well as for polo games. Its numbers are dwindling rapidly. Now, moving on to Kollam as the India's first constitutional literate district. Now, Kollam has been officially declared India's first constitutional literate district by Government of Kerala. The constitutional literacy campaign was launched jointly by the Kollam District Panchayat, the District Planning Committee, and Kerala Institute of Local Administration. As part of the campaign, 1.63 lakh people on the district above the age of 10 have been educated on various aspects of constitution. Now, the process involved 2,200 trainers called senators. The senators visited schools, offices, auto stands, and tribal councils to spread awareness. Moving on to Paiga Tomb. Paiga Tomb or Mugbara Sham al Umara are a necropolis, a large designed cemetery with elaborate tomb monument located in Hyderabad, Telangana. They were built in the 18th and 19th centuries and belong to the nobility of Paiga family who served the Nizam of Hyderabad in various capacities. The tomb are made out of lime and mortar and with beautiful inlaid marble carvings. It contains motif in floral design. The tomb are finest example of Indo-Islamic architecture, which is a blend of both features of Ashraf Jahi and Rajputana style. Now, stucco work found in Paiga tombs doesn't exist anywhere else in India. It has lattice screens and minaret. Moving on to city finance ranking, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has launched the city finance ranking. The aim is to evaluate, recognize, and reward urban local bodies on the basis of the quality of their officials' current financial health and improvement over time in financial performance. It will motivate officials to implement municipal finance reforms. The ULB will be evaluated on 3 parameters: resource mobilization, expenditure performance, and fiscal governance. Now, the Urban Learning Internship Program, that is TULIP, the scheme was launched in 2020 by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs in collaboration with Ministry of Education and All India Council of Technical Education. It is a platform to provide internship to students and graduates in urban local bodies, smart cities, parastlas of states and union territories. Its aim is to fulfill the twin goal of providing hands-on learning experience to recent graduates as well as benefiting states, urban local bodies, and smart cities with the infusion of fresh energy and ideas to solve critical challenges. Now, moving on to Vibrant Village Program. It was announced in the Finance Minister's budget speech of 2022. Its aim is to enhance infrastructure in villages along India's border with China, along with Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Arunachal Pradesh. Activities covered under Vibrant Village Program include building infrastructure such as housing, tourist centers, road connectivity, providing decentralized renewable energy, direct-to-home access for Doordarshan and educational channels, and support for livelihood generation. It envisages coverage of border villages on the northern border that have sparse population, limited connectivity, and infrastructure. Moving on to Aspirational Blocks Program, it is based on lines of Aspirational District Program that was launched in 2018. Its aim is to improve the performance of blocks lagging on various development parameters. This will enable holistic development in those areas that require added assistance. It will cover 500 blocks across 31 states and union territories. Over half of these blocks are in 6 states: Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Odisha, and West Bengal. Moving on to Swastik Initiative, it is an initiative of CSIR, National Institute of Science, Communication and Policy Research. It stands for communicating India's scientifically validated traditional knowledge to the society. Its aim is to conserve the practice of right traditions, inculcate scientific temper of verifying tradition in scientific manner, and instill confidence in citizens regarding the scientific value of our traditional knowledge and practices. Now, moving on to SAIMI Initiative. Now, SAIMI Initiative, that is Sustainable Aquaculture in Mangrove Ecosystem Initiative, was started in 2019. It is a community-based initiative for sustainable shrimp cultivation. The initiative was conceived by NGO Nature, Environment and Wildlife Society, News, and Global Nature Fund, GNF. Naturland, Bangladesh Environment and Development Society beds. Under this initiative, farmers have taken up cultivation of shrimps at 30 hectares in West Bengal. Additionally, they are restoring the mangroves. Moving on to BIND scheme, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has approved the Broadcasting Infrastructure and Network Development Scheme. It is a central sector scheme. Its aim is to bring modernization to public broadcaster, Prasar Bharati, that is All India Radio and Doordarshan. Financial support will be provided to Prasar Bharati for expansion and upgradation of its broadcasting infrastructure and content development. It will enable Prasar Bharati to undertake a major upgradation of its facility with better infrastructure. This will widen its reach, including in the left-wing extremism, border and strategic areas, provide high-quality content to the viewers.